packets for everyone. You can take a look through that. We're also going to go over it. I'm going to start by showing a video, just kind of outlines what NYC is. So Dylan will play that on the TV. Have you ever seen the world? So that's our promo video, and I just wanted to start by kind of explaining what NYC is. So NYC stands for Nazarene Youth Conference, and us at Pukalani Church in Nazarene, or Kahului Nazarene, are part of the district, and then we're part of a region. And so NYC is the United States and Canada region, and so there's like 10,000 kids who are all coming, and we come to one place, and there's worship, there's messages, there's volunteer projects, we have missions with others, and so we're just all united in a time of worship, teaching, and community service. And it only happens every 3 to 4 years, so most of the time a student will have one opportunity to attend NYC. Because of COVID, the years were kind of shifted, and so some of our kids are going to be able to go twice, because it was in 2023, now it's in 2026, and then we also have 2029. So some kids, if it lines up, we're going to go to NYC twice. But it's a super impactful experience, and I had the opportunity to go as a student, and at the time, in 2019, I had some extracurriculars and stuff so I considered not going. And it was my youth pastor who said, this conference can have eternal impacts. And so I'm so glad that I went, because this can be life-changing for a student. And then I also had the opportunity to go as a leader, and so I got to see our youth go and attend, and I got to see a change in them. And so I encourage you, if you have just a little bit of interest in going, we want to get you there. We're going to go through this packet, we'll go through the itinerary, the cost of it, but I don't want anything to discourage you. If you or your youth want to be there, we want to get you there, and so we're going to work with you. So on the next slide, it just goes over a little bit of what NYC is, and so we all experience like worship, there's speakers, there's creative arts, and then there's live concerts from worship bands, so we've had like, I can't remember, for King and Country, Lecrae, yeah, so it's really cool for the kids to be able to go. And then they also have to go out into the community, and we serve together with ministry with others. In Florida, we picked up trash at the beach, and when I went as a student, we went to a Boys and Girls Club and we cleaned it. So it gets the kids in the community to serve, and so it'll be throughout Salt Lake City. And then there's interactive discipleship, because our Hawaii district, we meet every morning and every night, and we have like a time of devotions, and then you have even smaller groups, and you get smaller groups and you meet together. And then there's a recreation hall, and there's a bunch of activities. There was a zip line in 2023 for the kids to go on. And then there's all these different Nazarene churches, or Nazarene universities. They all have their booths, and so you can get cool merch. You can ask questions if you're interested in going to college there. There's games, there's exhibits, so it's something really cool to attend. You're busy every day for all day, but it's so worth it. And then who can attend? So a student is eligible to attend if they have completed 8th grade through 12th grade at the time of the event, and the age cutoff is 19 years old. So if you are in 8th grade and you finish 8th grade, you can attend, or if you're in 12th grade and you finish 12th grade, you can attend. Okay, now I'm gonna just have us take a look at our packet. You can take these home, look it over. If you have any questions that you didn't think of today, you can text me, just let me know. This first page is just a letter from our district coordinator, Pastor Charles. He's been doing it for a lot of years, so he knows what he's doing. He is very good at letting me know what's going on so that I can let you know what's going on. And he really wants our youth to go, right? So he's very encouraged by that. The second page is a packet, and it goes over like what NYC is, kind of what we just went over, who can attend, where it is. So NYC this next year is going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I was looking back at past NYC events, and our first one was in 1958, and there was 763 participants. And now 2023, there was over 10,000 kids there. So it's just something that's grown a lot, which is awesome because we want a lot of kids there. So I'm going to go over the cost breakdown. So that's on the next slide. And that's also in your packet. I don't want this to scare you because we're going to do fundraising. We'll have sponsorship letters. We're going to make sure if you want to go that you can go. And so the cost for the Hawaii Pacific District is $2,500. We do have quite a bit of travel time, so that's accounted into it. And that's if you register before October 10th. If you register after October 10th, it'll go up $100. But Pastor Charles even broke down like the cost so you know exactly what you're paying for. So the event itself is $500. The hotels and housing that we'll stay in is $700. At NYC, there's a convention center and then there's hotels all around it. So all the students are staying in those hotels. So it's really close to the center. And then this is the big one, the transportation. So that's flying, but also on the ground if we need to rent shuttle buses for anything. That's $950. So that's where a lot of the price comes into. But Pastor Charles gets a group rate, he gets a block, so that does lower the cost considerably. And then we like to take the kids out to do activities, things that they couldn't do here. So they say that's around $400. And then admin and district t-shirts is $45. Every student gets 2 Hawaii Pacific District t-shirts. And at NYC, a big thing is trading t-shirts from other districts. And so they get to go around. You can get a t-shirt from Kentucky or from Ohio or from New York and all this stuff. So you get to meet these kids, you're trading these t-shirts, and then you have a cool momentum to come and take home and remember it by. So that's something that you'll get to do. And then also Pukenaz is gonna have separate ones for our kids to trade as well. Okay, on the next page, it's just saying like, what do I need to do to register? And so I know the registration date is October 10th, but if your youth is interested in going, I will need to know by September 30th. And that's so I can make sure you get these registration emails and also so I can give you forms to fill out for the Pukenaz side of things and then the district side of things. But if that date doesn't work, just let me know and we'll figure something out. So this is mostly just informational. You don't have to give a yes or no today. So once you decide, you can let me know and I will ask for your email address and everything, and I give it to our district coordinator and they will send you a registration invitation email to sign up. The only person who can sign up is the youth's parent or guardian. So the youth cannot sign themselves up. It has to be their parent or a sponsor, so parent or guardian. And then you fill out like the liability forms, the registration forms, everything like that is included on that. And then it talks about a deposit, but we'll go over that on the next slide in a second, because it's all about the important dates. We do fundraising, so it's not 100% out of pocket. We'll do sponsor letters, stuff like that, so that we can go through this important dates and the money due. When you're making payments, the only thing is that you have to pay or make it out to Pukenaz, and then Pukenaz sends it to the NYC district coordinator, and then they send it in. So that's just how it's always been. But we'll talk about that more on not the next slide, but the next packet page. So it's our important dates. And that's basically the payment plan, the payment schedule. So what we do for our mission trips is we have dates where you should be at a certain amount, and either you fundraise to that or you would self-pay on top of it. And so the $200 deposit, anyway. The $200 is out of your own pocket. It's like, I'm committing to this, it's a commitment fee. And so that's what we would need by October 10th. And I'll send out reminders and everything once I know for sure who is coming. And then this is just the dates and the amount that the district needs from each kid. And so I'll make sure that I reach out to each kid and each adult, how much they're at, how much is needed, so that we can stay on top of our payment plan. Because that's just something that the district has set up, so we have to follow that as well. And then it goes over what's included in the cost. So we talked about that. It's NYC. There's also a field event for our region. So that's something, in 2023 we went on a scavenger hunt, so that was cool. And then the Hawaii district, we also have an event that we do. And then any kind of like excursions we do in Salt Lake City or even in San Diego, because we'll be going to Point Loma Nazarene University. So everything's included in that except for personal snacks and then like NYC merch. The concerts will have like t-shirts or stuff like that. That's out of their own pocket. And then travel from outer islands. So if you look at our tentative itinerary, which is on this, they have like a couple dates because they're not for sure when we're going to be leaving here. But what they usually do is have everyone meet on Oahu, and then we have a service on a Sunday morning. I don't know if Pukenaz is doing that yet, because if we do, that's an additional cost to get over there. We might just be meeting them in Salt Lake City. So we're gonna confirm about that, but I will let you know for sure, once I know the for sure dates from Pastor Charles. But this is just our tentative itinerary for now. You can look over this. It shows us when NYC is, and then when we'll be heading to Point Loma Nazarene University, and then we'll be flying out of San Diego. And everyone flies together to Oahu, and then each youth group will go home on separate flights. So we would be flying from Oahu to Maui. But once I know all those exact dates, I will let you know. And then the last page is an example of a sponsor letter. So I kept saying sponsor letter. That's if you want to send it to your friends and family to, number one, ask for prayer, because NYC can be life-changing, and so just pray that, you know, that when you go, the experience is life-changing and that you have a right heart going into it and how God can use you. And then another thing that we include in a sponsor letter is if they would like to sponsor your youth. And it can be a one-time thing, or this one says committing to $20 per month. It's anything that they want to give. And then they would make any checks or stuff out to Pukenaz so that we can turn that into the district. So this is not the sponsor letter we're going to use. Once your youth is committed and asks about it, I will give them it and they can send that out to their friends and family. The reason that I need to know by September 30th is so that I can have our youth fill out everything they need for on the Pukenaz side. So permission slips, medical, anything like that, where you give permission if anything were to happen, like we can take the kid to the doctor or something like that. That will all be turned in by October 10th then to Pukenaz, and then by October 10th we would also register with the district. So some things are already set up by the district, so we have to abide by that as well. Like we always do a Life 360, stuff like that, just so we can keep our kids, you know, we're gonna be in a big city. There's a lot of NYC kids anyway, so it's like a huge crowd of kids, but it's just so that we know where our kids are and that we can keep them safe and all that. I did wanna say, Dylan and I both are going. From Pukenaz, there's potentially another sponsor who's going. So Pukenaz will be well represented, but then the district also supplies sponsors as well. so they have a good ratio. I think it's 1 to kind of about 5. 1 to 5, so that's pretty good. What did you have to?
I was just gonna tell them too that in the event itself, they will get a, what's it called, like a placard. And when they walk in, they have to show their ID, and then they're locked in, like they have to be at the event, and then they don't let anybody without an ID. And then even beyond that, every person that's a sponsor, they have to be NAS safe, they have to go through training, they have to go through lots of things. So it's a super safe event. And I was also gonna add real quick too, if we're gonna go to Oahu, like if we have to travel inter-island and then go with them, Puka-NAS will cover that short flight.
Yeah.
So the church will cover the short flight, that won't be an additional cost. So the church has decided to sponsor out of our youth fund just that short flight over, so that won't be an extra cost.
Yeah, so that'll be taken care of. I know that was a lot of information. If you have any questions, now's the